Hi, welcome to today's video. My name is Paul. So this week I decided to do something that I don't often do on this channel, and that's do some figure drawing. In an average month I do spend a bit of time doing figure drawing, but I rarely ever record it or put it up onto this channel. I think maybe it's partly because it's kind of out of my comfort zone. The landscape drawing and painting is very much what I do most of the time, and the figure drawing is, as I say, a little bit more of a challenge for me. But I think it's also a good way to practice drawing, so I try and do some of it from time to time. And as I've said before, this channel, at least one of the reasons for its existence, is to sort of document my journey in art and trying to become an artist. So since I do some figure drawing, I think I should do at least occasional videos and post them onto the channel. So anyway, that's just a long-winded way of explaining why I'm doing some figure drawing this week. I was inspired by some of the artwork of Toulouse Lautrec. So Henri de Toulouse Lautrec is one of my favorite artists, always has been. And he was very much focused on figure drawing and figure painting. That was his main thing. In fact, he said that things like landscapes or cityscapes, interior scenes, gardens, etc., these only existed as a sort of decoration for the figure, or to put the figure into some context. He even went on to say that artists who specialize in pure landscape without any figures, those artists are crude and unsophisticated. Now, that's not something I agree with, because obviously landscape drawing and painting is my main thing, but it doesn't impact my ability to enjoy and to love the artwork of Toulouse Lautrec. I think you can appreciate artwork by an artist even if you don't agree with everything that artist believes or says. Toulouse Lautrec was born into a French aristocratic family, which I think meant that growing up, and as a young artist as well, he didn't really have any money problems. He never experienced real poverty or anything like that. So in that sense, he had a lucky life. However, in other aspects, he was a lot less lucky, especially when it comes to physical health, and then later on and mental health as well. So in terms of physical health, he was born with a genetic disorder, a syndrome. This syndrome, I can't remember the proper medical term for it. It's one of those names that has like 30 letters kind of thing. It's quite a long name. But in a sort of non-medical way, it's sometimes referred to as Toulouse-Lautrec syndrome. It's quite rare, but one of the side effects, or one of the effects of this syndrome, is children are born with weakened bones, brittle bones. And you know, children being children, running around, sometimes falling over and things, they can easily hurt themselves. And this is what happened to the young Henri de Toulouse Lautrec. He broke one leg, and then the year after he broke the other leg, and that had a couple of consequences for him. The first one was he had a lot of time to sort of sit around or lie around because he just couldn't get up and move about. He had to rest his broken legs. And I think it was his mother was maybe into art, painting and drawing and things, and maybe that's where he got the idea of sort of spending some of his time recuperating by doing some drawing. And I think his father then paid for an art tutor to come in and help him with his drawing. So by the time Henri was a young man or an older teenager, I think he was quite accomplished as an artist. When he did become a young man, he moved to Paris where he continued his art education and also started trying to get some commissions and things from different people. And I guess the thing that he ultimately became most successful and most famous for was his posters. His way of designing posters was quite unique. The way he used colors and things. He was very much inspired by the Japanese ukiyo-e paintings, the woodblock prints. And he wasn't alone. There was a lot of other artists, Vincent van Gogh, Monet, and a lot of the Impressionists also loved these Japanese ukiyo-e woodblock prints. His Toulouse-Lautrec's posters became so popular that it was actually a problem for the people who commissioned him, because they would commission some posters, the posters would be printed, they'd be put up one night, and the next morning they'd be gone because people were stealing them, taking them home. They were so much in demand. But as I say, he had these health problems, and one of the consequences of breaking both his legs as a young adult or a young adolescent was his legs never grew again. So they never really healed and they never grew. So although his body continued to grow into an adult man's body, his legs were quite short. And as a result, he was short. He was about 1.5 meters, but about less than 5 foot tall. And I think he was in quite a bit of pain through most of his life. He needed walking sticks to get about. And I think the combination of the pain and the bullying that he experienced from other adults, people pointing at him and laughing at him because he was short, you know, these things happen. I don't know why, but there are some adults who think it's okay to point and laugh at somebody who's a bit different. It's an aspect of human nature that I've never understood. But anyway, he developed some mental health issues around this because I guess he felt he was an outsider and he was different in some way. And he turned, unfortunately, to alcohol to try and solve the problems. And he did become an alcoholic. As a result, unfortunately, he died young. He had a stroke a couple of months or so before his 37th birthday. He never recovered and died soon afterwards. But as I say, he left, unlike Vincent van Gogh, for example, who also died about the same age. Vincent was never famous during his lifetime, whereas Toulouse-Lautrec was. He had become quite famous, as I say, especially for designing posters, but also his paintings and things. These are the two final drawings. The one on the left is an attempt at sort of copying one of Toulouse-Lautrec's drawings. Toulouse-Lautrec was his line work was amazing. It was very, very good. And the way he got the different weights of the lines and things was amazing. It's something I admire a lot, but something that I cannot reproduce yet. But I continue practicing. The one on the right is quite different. It's much looser, and it's just trying to recreate. It's not an exact scene from any of his drawings or paintings. It's roughly based on a couple of different paintings he did, but it's just looser, and it's just trying to get that sort of feeling, that atmosphere that he was able to capture in these nightclubs and places that he used to hang out, places like Moulin Rouge and other such nightclubs. Anyway, I enjoyed having a go at the figure drawing. I always enjoy it, even though it is a bit of a challenge. And maybe make more of these sort of videos in the future. If you made it this far in this video, thank you for watching, and hopefully see you in next week's video.